the evening, period. And in an area where we have an operation, it's much more important that we are more careful about the responsibilities that we have and about the safety of our kids. So I want to ask you, Professor Magoha and my colleagues in the Ministry of Education, that we follow these policies very effectively. But that does not mean that we are also not going to pursue the bandits as we ought to. We have an operation going on in that part of our country. In fact, I just came close to declaring curfew in that part of the country, just as I did in Lamu, so that it gives us an opportunity to limit movement and to be able to sort out some of the security issues there. But we are going to step further because I was in North Rift a third time 2 weeks ago, sitting down with the leaders trying to find out solutions to the problem there. Next week, I am going to the National Security Council to seek authorization of the Council to declare the Pokot Warriors and the Pokot movement there an outlawed organization, and we will categorize them the same way we categorize MRC and the terror groups that we have in the country. What that means in terms of security is that we are going to apply a new level of force and fire to wipe out that organization, because it's no longer a matter of cattle rustling, because what cattle were in that bus that they attacked? Because if they are interested in cattle, if it's about cattle rustling, those are innocent kids going back home, despite the mistake that was made by their teachers. So what animals were in that bus that required that those kids and teachers be attacked? It's abundantly clear to us that this is a criminal organization that is disguised as a card rustling effort. And we have said this time and time again, that some of the activities that appear to be like card rustling in the North Rift part of our country are essentially organized criminal enterprises. We've tried to adopt civilian methods of resolving some of them, but it's clear also that that time has come for us to approach that situation differently. And subject to the clearance of the Council, I will gazette that organization next week as an outlawed group of people. And we will go after them with unprecedented fire so that we wipe them out. Because there's nothing else we are going to do. We can't keep going on and on this. But while that's happening, we ask the leaders in that part of our country to also do their bit. Bullets and guns don't bring peace, and they don't solve problems. Problems are solved by intercommunal conversations, proper investment in the livelihood and welfare of these people. That is what will help us sort out the problem in that part of our country. It has been going on for 2 decades. It's shameful, and it's a fact. They know it. I told some of them when we met last week. You can't spend CDF resources buying bullets and hope that that is going to solve your problem. We are all taking our children to school. That's what the modern society is doing. We take people to school so that they participate in modern ways of life. You cannot be proud that your people are living in the Stone Age ways and moving around with firearms. You should be ashamed of it. And you should work hard to get them out of those caves so that they come out, go to school, build technical institutions for them, and ensure that these people achieve a normal livelihood. But enough for security issues. I think away from that, Professor, I promise as always that we will be available. We will work with you. We will go to the containers with you. We will be around with all these colleagues to ensure that the exams are administered effectively, and we will stop at nothing to ensure that we give our children the best possible attention during this particular time. We will have a command center, as we usually do, at the Ministry of Interior. Immediately this exercise commences, I know that we have a command center at the Mutihani place, but we also, because of security reasons, we also put up one in place so that we are able to immediately know what kind of resources we need to share where we can. So our collaboration has worked very well in the past. I have no reason to believe we are going to have a problem. And by faith and by the grace of God, I am looking forward to this exercise. and I know we will succeed to the honor and glory of God. God bless you, good people, and let's get on with the work. Thank you.
Thank you very much, CS. Colleagues, allow me now that I'm able to come back to acknowledge our other colleagues from the Ministry of Interior. Maybe they just stand up so that you see all of them. We have Mr. Sia, who normally works with us. Thank you very much for the support you have always given us. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me now to invite our Cabinet Secretary, Professor Magoha, to make his remarks and declare this exercise officially opened. Thank you very much. Karibu.
My colleague and friend, Dr. Fred Okengo Matiangi, in charge of the Ministry of Interior and Coordination of National Government, Dr. Nancy Macharia, in charge of Teacher Service Commission, all protocol observed. I don't want to take time there. I want to start from the perspective of recognizing the officers who are here. First of all, from the Ministry of Interior and Coordination of National Government, you will remember that we have an ongoing exercise of constructing CBC classrooms. I've been out in the field and I've met a large number of you, and will continue to be there, starting from the regional commissioners, the regional directors of education, right down to the sub-county officers. I want to thank you, but we have still not reached the target. And we are working backwards from the 7th of March, because the schools shall be out of bound. We are at 70%. Sub-counties like Kuria East and Gemiala have reached 100%, but they have still not forwarded the money for payment. You can only claim that you are 100% when your officers have made sure that the contractors are paid. And I want to re-emphasize this because you are all together. Please take 10 minutes to cross-check the information that you have been given by the contractor. Interrogate the contractor to make sure that his ID card and the till numbers that he's giving you are correct, so that they don't have to go back again. We are having a bottleneck at the payment level. I wasn't endowed with diplomacy, so I will say it as it is. The rule is that no bus should move beyond 6:30, period. And we must implement that rule. It doesn't matter who is in the bus. So, if a bus is out beyond 6:30, it should go to the nearest police station and it should stay there. We have to protect the lives of our children, because the deaths that have occurred are really careless and useless. It should not have happened. So from my perspective, I have officers in the field. If you find out that school buses, which have yellow color, by the grace of Fred Matiangi when he was the minister, it's easy to know them, intercept them. It is better to have the children hungry overnight than dead at night. Are we clear here? Otherwise, we shall take action. And like my colleague has also instructed his people, the enforcers are the Kenya police. If you want to dare, then starting today, let us not see any bus carrying children after 6:30. It doesn't matter where you are. Ladies and gentlemen, let me now come to the small matter of the examination process. I want to recognize the late General Kaiseri and my friend and brother here, Dr. Fred Okengo Matiangi, for having come with the original idea of sanitizing our examination process. This is the 6th year. So I'm not going to take too much time telling you what to do, because you have been 5 times successful. This is the 6th one. The only small matter is that we have a transition, and it looks like it's going to be a noisy transition. My charge to you is to ignore the noise and administer the examination the way you have done in the past. Children don't have political parties, they don't belong to any group. My orders from the president, and I think my brother also has the same orders, is that the examination must be administered with the common denominator. The most important person there is the child. I want to confirm to you this morning that the examination has not leaked and that the first exam shall be seen after it has left the container. There are a few of those crooks who are still trying. If you are stupid and you want to buy, go and buy. But I want to confirm to you that you shall not be buying our exams. For the 0.001% of the center managers who are actually teachers, don't dare, because we shall know where you have opened the paper, especially the second paper. And you have heard from the Teacher Service Commission CEO that we are not going to consider, we shall not be humane when we are dealing with you. What do you think you are doing when you are dealing with 1.2 million children, actually 2 million children, and you want to open the exam so that you can compromise their future? That's how serious this is. So mine is to charge you that we are everywhere and we shall know if you open and take a photocopy. There's a small school called Oluso in Rangwe in Homa Bay. Don't attempt. If you want to ban the school, our instructions are very clear. Shut down the school now. The students will come back to do the exam at the exam time. For those who succeed in banning between now and the exam, you shall come back to do your exams under the trees or under whichever condition you want. Let us stop this nonsense. Are we together here? So ladies and gentlemen, finally we have not taken for granted the fact that there is a lot of coordination to be done. I want to be very firm here. When Dr. Matiangi, Joe Mucheru and the others started this process, I was a junior officer at the head of NEC. These duties are not delegatable. Let us be very clear here. You don't delegate a junior officer to be going to open the container for you. If you think you are too important, tell us now so that we get somebody else who is as stupid as we are, who will go and open the containers with us. In the event that you are unwell, or if there is a very extraneous issue, let it be escalated to the very highest level, so that we don't have a situation where we are dealing with a post-mortem when the exam has already leaked, and the person who was there is not supposed to be there. I also want to just say one other thing about my excellent teachers. We have the best teachers around, but we have found out that because of our nature, and that's one of the reasons why we right-sized the number of examination centers. You find that people come, they have a TSC number, and because of the corruption, they are not even teachers, they are not even head teachers. Are we together? So I'm charging you to be very polite to confirm that the person who is saying is the center manager is actually a bona fide employee of Teacher Service Commission and is actually a head teacher. Remember one time in one part of this country, we even found that people had gone to the extent of even producing pictures. If you hire Magoha to go and do the exam for you, you get his photograph, and you find a way of making sure it is his photograph on the table. So as my officers are moving around, they see Magoha and his photograph and say, no, this is a student. And I want to thank the Director of Primary Education who picked this up. Finally, some center managers, especially in Kamkunji, they walk around with a lot of money, cash money in their pockets. Can I empower the officers that are uniformed with that instrument of power to challenge them? What do they need hundreds of thousands of shillings in their pocket for during that exam? If we find any, such center managers should be swiftly removed. And I'm talking about Kamkunji area. Finally, on the issue of distance, it is true that there are few schools that are up to 5 kilometers away from where the children live. If this is so, this is going to be dynamic. Let us make sure that if such centers have less than 30, we do not punish the children. But otherwise, I have no doubt. I've not given you information to go. You know, you go to some place here and you find a center on the ground floor, 15 children. Second floor, 15 children. Third floor, 10 children. That is not going to happen. If you dare, we shall shut you down. But unfortunately, the children will then have to go and do the exam in the nearest center. There's no need for that. I want to thank you and to encourage you. This is our country. This is the last examination. In fact, this is the last time you'll see me here as a CS. I never dreamt to become one, but we have done well. In my tribe, they say the ship sinks just before it docks. Can we ensure that that does not happen here? Because when you look at the successes of this government, whether anybody likes it or not, one of the most transformative successes is in the examination sector, isn't it? And it has been because 3 ministries have been working together in tandem. The Ministry of ICT, the minister is not here because he's engaged elsewhere with the president, my brother who is sitting here, and our ministry. We have worked, we have shown that the one government approach can deliver results. Forget about the politics. The politicians can make noise there. Also to let you know that since you are all here together, I hope that you have all now received the books for grade 6 and that we are ready to go as we open. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And you can see that I'm courageous and strong, isn't it? Because God has come forth. I want to charge you to be the same. What is going to happen tomorrow is not your business. It belongs to God. Just do what you have to do now. Are we together? So, when you get this lock, even if you are one of those people who takes 1 or 2 after work, make sure you go back and keep the lock in a very safe place first before you go out. Don't come and start telling us that the lock is lost even on the first